On September 11, 2001, suspected Al-Qaeda terrorists attacked the New York business hub, leaving behind a trail of death and destruction. This heinous act brought massive fear and cause for alarm. Between 2001 and 2011, several related attacks were reported in the US, standing at 207, out of which 21 were fatal. They, however, reduced from 40 attacks in 2001 to about 9 in 2011, with the smallest number of attacks being reported to have occurred in 2006. The United States twin bombing to date remains probably one of the puzzles that left security organs across the world more vigilant than ever.
Terrorism is real. It is there. So nobody should lie to the public that terrorism is not there. It is there. It is a new way of a small group of people trying to kill people massively.
Such lethal attacks tantamount to terrorism, which culprits like Al-Qaeda have always claimed responsibility. 9 years after the American twin bombings, Uganda tested the wrath of terrorism. Over 70 football fans were attacked and killed, leaving several others injured during World Cup soccer finals in 2010. The attacks occurred at two different locations of Chadondo Rugby Club and Ethiopian Village Restaurant in Kampala.
As we are down there, I tried to raise my head to see really what has happened. My first sight was on the screen. It was black. Then the second sight went where we had seated. We were seated. I saw only one friend, Frank. He was like this, but blood was coming from the back head, like as if they were pouring water from the jerry can.
Youthful David Muemba says he survived death at the merciless hands of terrorists at Chadondo Rugby Club narrowly. His narration of what took place on the night of 11th July 2010 is disturbing. All that remains in his memory are the friends that he lost that night, never to see them again.
Since Peter died, in this family, Peter was my friend. He was my friend, he was the only friend. But since he died, I come, greet Aunt Flo, he knows me, she knows me. I come, meet Waswa, he knows me. We chat, we do everything, but all happens because of Peter.
Such acts of terrorism continue to be a thorn in the flesh of world security. The association of terrorist activities to Islam continues to afflict the reputation of the Muslim community, known for their peaceful coexistence with their neighbors.
Terrorism has no place in Islam. Terrorism has no tribe. It neither has any affiliation. A terrorist is a terrorist. But it's always unfortunate to associate terrorism with the Islamic religion.
The Anti-Terrorism Act 2002 criminalizes terrorism, calling it the use of violence with intent to achieve religious, economic, cultural and social ends using unlawful means.
We, as Uganda police, we condemn terrorism in the highest order because there's nothing good about it. It is just people killed, massive killing of people, without a warning.
One of the most recent detections of terrorism in Uganda was in 2013 when the Ugandan army rescued children being initiated into acts of terrorism. But with denial by Muslims of any involvement in terrorist activities, there are questions which require answers. Who recruits terrorists? Are they trained? What does the Muslim faith teach about terrorism?
We can't deny that some perpetrators do purport to be Muslims. But purely there is nothing, because killing a person in our religion, the Holy Quran says that killing someone is like killing the whole world. And saving one's life is like saving the whole world.
The recent massacre of people in Kenya and the infamous abduction of school girls by Boko Haram in Nigeria raise more questions. Who is responsible for the fight against terrorism? Is it the public or security? What is the biggest weapon in the fight against terrorism?
The most important tool for fighting terrorism is you open your eyes and the ears. That's the most important thing. Whatever you hear, you know where to report it. Whatever you see, you know where to report it.
Fighting terrorism, the biggest weapon is your eyes. Use your eyes to isolate these terrorists.
Uganda has been successful in dealing with terrorist threats like the Lord's Resistance Army led by Joseph Kony and the Allied Democratic Forces based in Congo. But security organs insist that combating terrorism requires participation of all people. Henry Okrut, UBC News.